Hello friends. I have been working on a blog post which is probably going to go live tomorrow or the next day, as in Monday or Tuesday. And I thought what I would do is hop on here and talk about it in video form, because I know not everybody wants to read, and it ended up being a long one. I like to read, but not everybody likes to read. So what I thought I would do is just do a little video about it in case that's more your style, and I'd love to have some comments on the video so we can learn from each other. Now what I wanted to talk about and what my blog post is about is how to add some structure to your day by using oils. Now, how do we do this? I've been reading a lot and learning a lot about habit stacking. So this is not my term, but habit stacking is where you do a thing that you then associate with a behavior. And what that allows you to do is automate the behavior that you're trying to do. So in my post, I talk about 5 different ways that we use oils in that way to add some structure to our day. And it's really easy for our days not to have any structure these days. So this is what we've been doing. So starting with getting up in the morning. I am not a morning person. I love to sleep in, love to stay up late and sleep in. So getting up in the morning is like not my favorite thing. So one of the things that I have started to do is I'm trying to automate my morning so I don't have to think about it and I don't procrastinate getting out of bed, because that's too easy these days. So what I've been doing, I get out of bed, first thing I do, go into the bathroom. In the bathroom, our hand soap has peppermint and spearmint in it. So I make my own hand soap. It has peppermint and spearmint, and I make that association with the mint oils being sort of energizing wake-up oils. So I still, then stumble into the kitchen and start brewing the coffee. Of course, the aroma of coffee has associations with it. We know that. As that's happening, I get the 3 daytime diffusers. We have 3 daytime diffusers, and I load them all at the same time. So the night before, I put them in the kitchen. That's where I load them as I'm making the coffee. We have one in the kitchen, one in the living room, and one that I bring down to my home office. I load them all at the same time. So in the morning, I rely heavily on the mint oils and to give some energy and wake me up. Now, if you've ever experienced inhaling doTERRA's peppermint, you'll know what that feels like. You take a sniff and it makes you go, right? It opens your eyes. So in my daytime diffusers, I put a mint, peppermint or spearmint, and a citrus. Citruses are mood lifters, and they smell good with the mints. So every day, the morning diffusers, they get a mint and a citrus and maybe something else. So there's no hard and fast rule. Just go with what you feel like you want to use. So that's what we do. And then I load my work diffuser. Usually it has a mint and a citrus, and this is key. So when you're trying to get work done and you need to focus, you need to put rosemary in that diffuser. Okay? Don't skip that one. So morning, a peppermint and a citrus, and whatever else. Work time. Add rosemary to your diffuser, okay? Rosemary, usually I add a mint and a citrus. Sometimes I mix it up, but it's always rosemary. And that, for me, has become a strong association with, okay, it's work time. I bring it down to my office, I sit down, and I work. I close the door sometimes, and it's work time. That aroma in the diffuser, that's work time. So then, sometimes some of us may want to try to have some healthy habits and maybe get a workout in. I'm trying. I'm not so great at that. And or practicing. Okay, so I lump these together because the oils that you can use to motivate you to do both of those things can be really similar. So if you are trying to, at some point during your day, doesn't matter when it is, if you're trying to get your shoes laced up and do something, heavy duty, like lifting weights or doing some cardio, maybe you want to associate that with a certain aroma. So I really like to suggest Motivate. Motivate is our blend. That's, it does what it says. It's for motivation. You can use anything else you want. But every time you work out, if you use Motivate, if you sniff Motivate before you work out, those days where you're on day 17 of the 30-day whatever, and you don't want to do it, if you've been using Motivate all the way through, if you're having trouble getting motivated, sniff that oil, and it will start your trigger to get your shoes on and go do the thing. Okay? It'll help you do that. It strengthens the start of the behavior. And we all know that just starting the thing is half the problem, more than half the problem. Same thing goes with practicing, except with practicing, make sure you're using rosemary because it's great for memory. Motivate has rosemary in it too. So that's what you can do for that. Lately, I've been trying to do yoga. So for yoga, I want something a little bit different. We happen to have yoga blends. There are 3 of them. So I'm starting to grab a yoga oil before I get on the mat. So on those days when I don't want to do it, I didn't want to do it today. I grabbed an oil, sniffed it. Okay, I think I'll go on the mat now. and then it triggered me into the behavior. Okay, so that's morning, workout. Afternoons. In our house, afternoons are a little more free form. Usually by that time, the daytime diffusers have run out and you have the opportunity to refill them. In our home, we don't usually have low energy in the morning anymore. We're kind of getting enough sleep lately, and also if you're not on the Lifelong Vitality supplements, do it, because they used to need afternoon energizing. I don't anymore, it's all good. So we have the opportunity to play around with the diffuser blend. And so sometimes what I do, like I did today, I don't know what I want to diffuse. So I went on Pinterest and I put in diffuser blend and I just scrolled through until I found something. That's a great time to experiment. If you don't need your diffuser to instill a certain behavior, then use it to experiment, and you might actually find something that you end up using really well for other things. So today, what am I diffusing? In one I have wild orange, black spruce, and grapefruit. Ooh, and in the other one I have adaptive and citrus bloom. Really nice. So that's what we do in the afternoon. We experiment. And then here's a really biggie, bedtime routine. So I am a night owl. It's hard for me to wind down at bedtime. I love the time between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. That's my time. I love that time. But society doesn't work on that schedule. So it's a challenge. It's always been a challenge for me to wind down. So I've become a master at the bedtime routine. And I'm pretty good now at nodding off. And sometimes I wake up, but I'm usually pretty good at getting back to sleep. So here's what I do that works for me. I always take a bath before bed. That's just part of my routine. I bring the diffuser, the bedtime diffuser, into the bathroom with me, load it there, and then I run it while I'm in the bath. So I run my bedtime diffuser minimum half an hour before I'm hitting the pillow. And that really has made a huge difference in my ability to just get into the room and just know that it's time to go to sleep. Of course, those of you with kids who are busy in the evenings, you're paying attention to this, right? Definitely you can and should do this with your kids. I actually do something different with my kids because I'm not that organized. So we have a jar full of Epsom salts in our bathroom. And when I get to the bottom of an oil, pop the top off and squeeze as much oil out of there as possible. And then I put that bottle in the jar of Epsom salts. Then in their bath time, they get one of those bottles. I fill it with the Epsom salts that they're sitting in. It's soaking up all the other oils from all the other bottles. They get that in the tub. It's already mixed with Epsom salts. And then while it's in there, they also take the labels off for me and it's ready to recycle. That's what I do with my empties. Okay, so it's getting them a little aromatherapy at bath time, and they clean the bottles for me too. It's a win-win. So those are the 5 ways. And just to give you some ideas on how to structure your day, aromatherapy is really strong. It's really potent, and you can really leverage it to help get into an emotional state that you want to be in order to do behaviors. And even more strongly than that, you can use it to help habit stack. So when you want to have a behavior become a habit and unconscious, then you can use aroma as the trigger. And it's way easier to grab a bottle of Motivate and sniff it than to convince yourself that I need to lace up my shoes and go do a workout. Start with the oil, make the connection, and then you can rely on that as you need it. I hope you find this helpful. I would love for you to comment on some oils that you use in this way. Maybe you have a bedtime routine with oils that works really well. Maybe you have an oil you associate with working out or whatever. I'd love to know if you have any suggestions for us so we can learn from each other. Hope you're having an awesome day. Love you all. Bye.